So you want to start a business, but you don't have much money to start with. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you 7 ways that you can start a business with no money or very little money so that you can start taking action towards a better future today. Well, a very warm welcome to the video today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. Listen, if you're new here and you want weekly tips and tricks about how to build a business that frees you up from that grip that money so easily places over the most important asset we have in life, which is time, then make sure you are subscribed, because that's exactly the journey I'm taking you on, and I've got some super exciting videos coming up for you in the coming weeks. But in today's video, I wanted to kind of address a topic or a question I get all the time. People say, Ben, I'd love to start a business. I want to make a change in my life. Right now in the world, unemployment rates are going through the roof. I want to do something where I take back control of my financial future, but I don't necessarily have this nest egg or this big pot of money to start with. Can I start a business with very little money? And it may seem like we're in hard times and the economy is struggling, whatever. Just remember, some of the fastest growing startups like Airbnb, WhatsApp, Groupon, Venmo, they were all started in the midst of the last recession. And so out of this economic hardship that we are undoubtedly going to face in the next season of our lives, there is going to be some amazing things that come out of it. There'll be some amazing startups, there'll be some amazing brands. And my challenge to you is, why couldn't that be something that you build? Before we jump into it, one quick note is there may be some people out there saying, well, there's lots of businesses you could start without money. Here's the thing I've found, though, is that if you want to build a business quickly, you either need to trade a lot of time or trade a lot of money. Some businesses both, right? But what we're actually trying to do here is we're trying to free up your time, because I believe time is the most important asset that all of us have available to us. Sure, the money of building a big business is great, it pays for nice holidays and all that kind of stuff. It's fun, but really the most important thing is the precious time that you have available to you. So my goal with this video is actually taking you from a place where you might have to sacrifice, say, 12 months of your life in order to put time into building something that just brings you in a little bit of capital to get something started. And try and compress that down to, say, 4 or 6 weeks, where if you really committed to it, if you had some boldness, some tenacity, which is what entrepreneurs need, by the way, you could really compress that time, raise some startup capital, and be ready to get going. You see, if you want to build a business fast that brings freedom and control in your life, then you're going to need to leverage something. And one of the best things you can leverage to grow a business fast is money. So I want to talk to you about ways that you can start a business, even if you right now don't have any money, but in the next 4 to 6 weeks you could, if you apply some of these principles. So what are your options? Well, number one, your option is, of course, to sell some stuff, right? Is to think, how much does success mean to me? How much does making this work mean to me? And then think through, what am I willing to sacrifice in order to make it happen? Now, I'm sure there would be many of you watching right now that have things around your home that you don't either want or need anymore. Most people are amazed when they go through this process. I recently did a clear out and sold some things on eBay and made a few £100 out of just things that were lying around the house that I didn't even need anymore. And what's the point of them being there if they're not being used? They may as well go and benefit someone else. And I know there would be many people that are in that situation. So I would encourage you this weekend or this evening, whenever you can make some time, is go around your house, do a bit of a Marie Kondo, pick something up. Does this spark joy? If it doesn't, right, put it on eBay, list it on eBay. Even if it's only going to make you a few pounds, make sure you do your shipping and stuff right so you don't lose money on it. But even if it's just a few pounds and you do a bunch of different things on there and you only make a few £100, let's say, that's at least a start, and it gets you going. For others of you out there, you'll be really committed to this idea of getting some control over your financial future and bringing freedom in your life. And you may consider making bigger sacrifices. You may have an iPad or a phone you don't use, or you may have a car that you use to drive to work every day, and actually you could sell it and buy a bike and ride to work or walk to work or make some sacrifices. And my question to you is, how much does success mean to you, and what are you willing to sacrifice to make it happen? Here's the reality. There's a lot of people out there that if they would just make these sacrifices now, they could pick all those things up again in a year or two, because of the difference that building a business makes to their financial future. So again, what short-term sacrifices are you willing to make to really make this happen? Don't go to someone moaning that I'd love to start this business or I'd love to grow that business. but I don't have the money to do it if you're not willing to make sacrifices yourself. Before you move on to asking other people to invest in your vision, you've got to appreciate what are you willing to invest in your vision. So that said, moving on to number two, option number two is family and friends. And now this is obviously a contentious topic because some people don't want to go to their family and friends and ask them for money, right? It's a tough topic. I remember going to my dad in 2014, 2015, when I first started my e-commerce journey and said, Dad, can I borrow $3,000 to buy some t-shirts? Like he thought it was a bit weird and what was I up to, but he believed in me and he gave me the money. And I'm thankful for that because otherwise I would have had to get a bank loan at 15% interest rate, I think at the time it was, and but he helped me out there, and I'm so glad he did because it got me started on this journey. And for some of you, there'll be family and friends that if you just pitch the vision of what you're trying to do to them, you'll be amazed at what a passionate vision can accomplish. If you just pitch that vision to those family or friends, say, hey, I'm looking to start this business, here's why I'm trying to grow it, here's the difference I want it to make, I need this to start, can you help me out, let's make it happen. Are you going to be nervous about asking them? Sure, I was nervous about asking my dad, but if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to step outside of your comfort zones. Option number three to starting a business if you've got no money right now is to approach a business partner. Different to family and friends, this is someone who is an entrepreneur or a business owner or has some knowledge in the area of business and also has some financial capital available to them. You need to think something like Dragon's Den or Shark Tank. Those business owners on those shows, they don't necessarily have a lot of time to plow into a business, but they have capital and expertise. And there comes a point in an entrepreneur's life when they don't necessarily have the passion, energy, time to be able to pour their whole life into a business or a brand, but they're excited by the idea of partnering with someone, taking an ownership stake, but funding it and giving ideas and letting that person run with it. And why couldn't that person be you? If you come up with an idea for a product or a brand, you could go to someone that you know is a successful business person that has capital available, present your business plan, take it seriously, show them what you want to do, and ask them, will they partner with you for an equity share in your company, say 20%, 25%? They could fund it, get the ball rolling, and together you could achieve way more than you could do on your own. Option number four for starting a business with no money is crowdfunding. Recently on the Impact Unlimited podcast, we had Mark Bakota, who is the founder of LaunchBoom, a crowdfunding agency. And he talked through the whole process of crowdfunding a product, what are the best processes. And I'd highly recommend you checking that episode of the podcast out. We'll leave a link for it around this video. And that will talk you through how to crowdfund a product. Crowdfunding has been made really popular of recent years by platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, making it possible for you to be able to sell a product before you've even created it. You create the plan, you create the vision, you sell the idea, and then once it's been crowdfunded, then you actually use that money that you've got from crowdfunding to go out there and pay your suppliers to be able to create the product. Now, of course, with crowdfunding, you can't just throw up a fidget spinner on crowdfunding. You can't just take something you've seen that's selling well on Amazon and copy and paste an image from Alibaba and put it on crowdfunding site and expect to make money. You're going to have to innovate, you're going to have to improve, you're going to have to put the work in, but the rewards are there if you're willing to put the work in. Option number 5 is favorable terms with your supplier. Now, this one is less likely, it's more rare, and usually is only when you have a history and a relationship with a supplier. But as I've said, with entrepreneurship, you're going to have to step outside your comfort zones. Sometimes you're going to have to be a little bit bold. You're going to have to make asks that other people wouldn't ask. So you're going to have to adopt a big ask mentality and actually put some requests in there. Be tenacious. You never know. You don't ask till you don't get. So one of the things you could do is approach suppliers again about a partnership. Hey, if we pay you an extra 10% on our unit cost, will you either drop the deposit amount down from 30% to 10% to 5%, or would you consider delayed payment terms? We get the business started, we start selling products, and then we pay for that order, maybe pay them a premium for that privilege. Some kind of deal there, especially if you can get some contacts in the industry, if you have someone that has contacts in production somewhere, whether locally, overseas, whatever. Like I said, it's a long shot, but if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you've got to test these things. You've got to knock on some doors to see what could happen. Number 6 is credit. Now, I saved this one to almost last, because I know people have very varying views on the idea of using credit to start a business. Some are totally against it. Some are like, it's the dream solution. Why wouldn't you do it? And I think it's a personal choice, right? One thing I would say is, of course, debt can be a crushing facet in your life. And so if you don't know how to manage money well, or you've shown a track record of not managing money well, I would avoid debt for as long as you can, and just steer clear of it until you do learn how to manage money. But if you've shown a track record of being able to manage money well, and are willing to consider the idea of borrowing money to start your business, then there actually are a lot of available options out there to you. Your business bank that you bank with, whether a high street bank or otherwise, most of them will have business loan options available to you. Students in our community have recently got business loans to be able to start their brands. Now, as long as you get good terms on the borrowing, say, a bank loan that's going to be at a low single-digit interest rate, and you're not putting stuff on a credit card that's going to be super high interest rate for years to come, as long as you're being wise about it, you can actually leverage debt for good. It's probably a topic for another day, but if you can borrow money at 5% and invest it into physical product brand that you generally should be getting an ROI of around 100%, then you can do the math, and you can see there's a big difference there. I would take that deal all day long. So again, it's not for everyone, but for those of you that are highly motivated, that are willing and able to put a business plan together and can be sensible and build your business with wisdom, then there is the option of borrowing money from banks and other lending institutions to really fast track your business growth. Finally, number 7, the ways to build a business with no money or very little money is to keep things lean. Now, strictly speaking, of course, this isn't going to help you raise that startup capital, but it is going to help you, once you get started. If you want to build a business with no money and you borrow money from a family member, or you take a bank loan, or you sell some stuff to, be able to be your startup capital, there's obviously only going to be a limited amount of money available to you. So one of the key things you're going to need to do in order to grow and grow fast is to keep things lean. Only get the subscriptions you need. Don't waste money on things that are frivolous. Make sure that every penny you spend goes towards the growth of the business. And herein lies why I honestly believe that people with a limited budget can often be more successful than those with an unlimited budget. People with an unlimited budget, I've found, make silly decisions. They make decisions that cost them money, cost them growth, cost them speed of growth, because they just think they've got this unlimited supply of money so they can do whatever they want and everything will work itself out in the end. For some people, it may do. They may get lucky and it does all work out. But for the majority of them, it slows down their growth because they're not making wise decisions. But a small budget causes you to think thoroughly through every decision you make and keep your budget lean. So those are my tips for you. Number 1, sell some things. Number 2, approach family and friends. Number 3 is approach a business partner about teaming up with you. Number 4, crowdfunding. Number 5, favorable terms with suppliers. Number 6, credit. And number 7, keeping your business lean. Listen, if you're in a spot right now where you want to start a business, you want to make a change in your future, but you don't have any money to start with, consider one of these options to build up some startup capital that you can get started in building a business that changes your future. Listen, if I can help any more at all, please do reach out. I would love to help you on this journey. If you do want to learn more about how to build a brand by leveraging the power of Amazon, one of the greatest opportunities to build real wealth right now in the current times we're in, a really recession-proof business, then you can check the link out below. Otherwise, like I say, make sure you are subscribed. Got some really exciting videos coming up for you in the next few weeks. I hope you're doing really well, and I will see you in the next one real soon.